Hey, my friend, I just want to remind you today that this is not the end for you. This is just the beginning. And that what you've walked through, the things that you felt like would completely crush you, the moments where you have questioned God and you've been like, God, where are you? God, why? Why? That is the place where he begins to chip away at the things that just don't serve you anymore. That's the place where your relationship goes to just a deeper level. That honest, that raw, that brutally, um, just the things that we have to lay down. That place where all we want is just for it to end. And yet you got up. I think of Mary and Martha and just the death of Lazarus when they cried out to Jesus and he just didn't even come, that he waited until Lazarus died. The anger they had to have felt like, we've done all of this stuff for you, Jesus, and you couldn't even come. Some of you guys are saying the same thing. I've served in church, I've read my Bible, I've prayed, I've done all the things. I can check it all off, God. And yet there's heartache. Yeah, there are things completely out of your control that you are just needing him to come. And you feel like it's a delay. And he's just speaking over you. This is not the end. To press in, to let him surgically remove the things that no longer serve you, to have you walk through these places of forgiveness, these places of releasing shame and guilt, the hard stuff that you just honestly are just holding on to. Because see, that's where the beginning starts. When we let go, when we release, when we forgive those who quite frankly have hurt us so bad. That is the place where you find your beginning steps, where you take the next step and the next step and the next step. And where God just begins to pour into you healing, he pours into you identity. He helps you to see just in that moment the things that don't serve you. And my friend, that's the beginning. That's the place he wants you to start. That's where he is. And I know that that's a hard place. But here's what I know. It's not jumping off big cliffs and it's not taking huge, gigantic steps. It's every day, step by step. It's baby steps. And sometimes we miss them. And sometimes we don't exactly see them because in the thick of it all, it just feels like we're not making progress. But I promise you that as you walk out of the thickness of it and you see the other side, that you will see step by step what he's done. Step by step, the glory that he's gotten. And that's my prayer over you, that you will literally every single day take one step to the next step, to the next step. This is not a race. This is actually like a slow walk. It's making a choice every single day. God, I choose you. God, I choose healing. God, when the tears flow and the anger flows and my emotions are all over the place, that I choose you. God, that in those moments when I don't understand, God, in those hard moments when maybe I have to come face to face with the people that just weren't there, that God, you're in my presence, that you walk with me, that you are closer than a brother, that you give us the Holy Spirit to bring peace and to bring joy. And that in the middle of the night, when the fear feels overwhelming, that we can cry out and simply say, God, I trust you. God, come near, be near. God, when this grief feels like it's suffocating me, that God be near. Look, I don't know what you walk through. Here's what I know is that step by step, we get through it. Some days better than others. Look, if all you got done today was you got up and you are still living, then there's still purpose inside you. And I know it may feel heavy. And I know there are days that you have just had enough and you want to give up. But know that God's still there. And do whatever it takes to be able to walk through this. Maybe that's worship music. Maybe that's journaling. Maybe that's taking a walk. I don't know. I would love for you to put some ideas below in the comments, because sometimes it just helps other people to know like what helps somebody else. For me, it's worship music. Like just give me some good old Hillsong, Cody Carnes. I need God sometimes just to wash over me. It's okay. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. You've been hurt. You've been scared. You've walked paths that you wouldn't wish upon anybody. But your story isn't over. And what God's going to do in the middle of this, on the other side of this, is going to blow your mind. Keep going, my friend. Keep going. If we can pray for you, let us know in the comments. All you have to do is put pray. You don't have to go into a big long story. You don't have to like air your dirty laundry. All you have to say is, will you pray for me? And we're happy to do that. Okay? Keep going, my friend. Keep going.